Hello there. So today what we're going to do is we're just going to make a short video on angle reasoning. Now this time, when we actually do this video, you're going to need a ruler and you're going to need a pencil because you're going to be doing some drawing in your book, and you're also going to be doing some labeling as well. So it's really important that you follow me, you pause it, then you draw it. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing today. So first of all, the first angle I'm going to talk about is this type of angle here. Okay, I'm going to use a shorter ruler. So this type of angle here. This angle here is the same as this angle here. They are the same angle. And this angle here is the same as that angle there. They're the same, and they've got a special name. They've got a special name. They are called opposite angles. Now, I want you to pause this video, and what I want you to do is copy this down neatly in your book, because you're going to be referring back to this. Okay, so now you've paused it, now you've drawn it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next angle. Okay, so the next angle we're going to do is complementary angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a 90-degree angle. Hey, hang on, that's not 90 degrees. Ah, yes it is. That's 90 degrees. That's definitely 90 degrees. So now what I'm going to do, if I mark off here, that this angle here is 20 degrees, if this angle here is 20 degrees, what must that angle there be? Well, if this is 20 degrees, this angle is 70 degrees. These two angles, I'm going to write it down, form complementary angles. Complementary angles. I can't just say if that's 20 degrees, that is 70 degrees without mentioning the word complementary angles. I need to mention complementary angles to actually prove it. Now pause your video, copy that down in your book, and make sure you write down complementary angles. Okay. The next one we're going to do is this. So now I'm going to draw a straight line. And I'm going to say that this angle here is 40 degrees. Now I know that in a straight line they form 180 degrees. So what's this angle here? This angle here must be 140 degrees. Now what gives me the right to say that these two angles add up to 180 degrees? To get the full marks, I mention this. They are supplementary angles. Okay, it's a key phrase that we have to refer back to. If the two angles in a straight line, we get 180 degrees, they are supplementary angles. They are supplementary angles. Now, sometimes I think, hang on, which one's complementary, which one's supplementary? Well, in a dictionary, C comes before S. And 90, if I was counting up from 0, I'd get to 90 before I got to 180. So that helps me remember that complementary angles add up to 90, supplementary angles add up to 180. But there are some other angles that add up to 180. We'll talk about them shortly. So now you've paused the video and you've copied this down in your book. We're now going to move on to the next bit. Now, say for example, I've got three angles. The first one is 120 degrees, and the next angle is 70 degrees. How am I going to work out the remaining angle here? Well, I know that these two angles add up to 190, so that means the remaining angle must be 170 degrees, because we've got all of the angles in a revolution. We've got all the angles in a revolution, and all the angles in a revolution add up to 360 degrees. Okay, maybe you want to copy that down. Angles in a revolution add up to 360 degrees. Make sure you've got that copied down. Pause the video, copy that down, copy this diagram neatly using a ruler, and then we can move on to the next stage. Whilst we're talking about angles in a revolution, if we just make this a bit bigger, if we look back at our opposite angles, and I say this is 130 degrees, and that means if this is 130, these two are opposite, that has to be 130 degrees, then ultimately I can work out the remaining. These two are supplementary angles, so these two have to add up to 180, so this must be 50 degrees. And this has to be 50 degrees for many reasons. First of all, they're supplementary angles. It's opposite this angle, so it has to be 50 degrees. And these two are supplementary angles, and they all add up to 360 degrees in a revolution. So again, this must be 50 degrees. Okay. The next one, some people call this the Z angle. Now, I've got two parallel lines. No, I haven't. Ah, yes, I have. Now I know they're parallel lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these up with a line here. And I'm going to write down this name of this line because it's a really important name. Transversal. I think you should copy that down as well at the end. This line here is called a transversal line. Now, with a transversal line, we create this shape here, the shape of a Z. Now, I think, well, Z is at one end of the alphabet. What letter's at the other end of the alphabet? A. So the special name to do with this begins with an A. So I look here and I say, okay, what do I know about that angle there and that angle there? They are the same because they are alternate angles. Alternate angles. Likewise, I know that this angle here is the same as that angle there. So what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a Z shape, and if I see a Z shape with parallel lines, they've got to be parallel lines, I know I'm looking for alternate angles. this angle is the same as this angle here. So if this here was 30 degrees, I know that this angle here would also be 30 degrees. They are the same. Okay. Right. So, they're alternate angles. The next one we're going to go for, don't forget, once you've got this, pause this, copy it down, and I need to see keywords transversal, and these here are the same because they are alternate angles. Copy this down so you can refer back to this. Next one is this angle here. Now, some people call this an F angle for obvious reasons, but you need two pairs of parallel lines. Hey, they're not parallel. Ah, yes they are. Now they're parallel. Great. We've got two pairs of parallel lines. And we've got this line here called the transversal. Now, these are called corresponding angles. I'm going to write that down in a minute. When I see this formation, I know that this angle here is the same as that angle there. And I also know that this angle here is the same as that angle there. Okay, so it's rather like sometimes if you're cutting wood and you're making a bench or something like that, you might use corresponding angles. Okay? Likewise here, hey, I've just spotted something. I think that this angle here is the same as that angle there. And this angle here is the same as that angle there. Yes, because they are opposite angles. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about corresponding angles. So I'm going to write this down. Corresponding angles. Okay, corresponding angles are the same. So that means if this here is 130 degrees, this here is also 130 degrees. They're the same. Likewise, if this is 130, that has to be 50 degrees. Because these two angles add up to 180 and they are supplementary. They're supplementary angles. Okay, likewise, this is also 50 degrees as well. Okay, so corresponding angles are equal. Pause the video, copy it down, please. The last angle we're going to do. It's this angle. We need two pairs of parallel lines. Yep, they're definitely parallel. I need a transversal. Okay, I need a transversal. Now, you might think, are we going back down the path of corresponding? No. What I'm going to talk about are this angle here and this angle here. These are called Cointerior Angles. They're called Cointerior Angles, and they add to 180 degrees. Now, the way I remember that they add up to 180 degrees, if I travel in this direction, and then I travel on this road, and I travel now in this direction, can you see that I've travelled in a westerly direction, and I finish my journey travelling in an easterly direction? That means that I'm changing my course through 180 degrees. My direction of travel is changing 180 degrees. So that means these two add up to 180 degrees. So if this angle here is 60 degrees, that means that this angle here must be, 120 degrees, because they are co-interior angles and they always add up to 180 degrees. Okay, thank you.